You ever look at a mountain and just wonder what stories it's hiding? Well, today we're diving into an incredible Khmer legend where love, betrayal, and a mother's rage literally, and I mean literally, reshaped the landscape of Cambodia. This is the story of how a broken heart and a very loyal son built a mountain.
It sounds totally impossible, right? But that's the core question of this whole myth. So how does that even happen? We're going to unpack exactly how a prince's forgotten promise, a woman's fury, and a very unusual child led to the creation of a massive landmark. So let's start at the very beginning.
So our story kicks off now with kings or queens in some grand palace, but with a woman living a really quiet life by the sea, and a discovery that was about to change absolutely everything.
So meet Sovan Imkatches. She's living the simple life out by the sea, near the Dongrek Mountains. Her world was pretty predictable until one day she stumbles across this huge, mysterious egg. Now, instead of just leaving it be, her curiosity gets the best of her, and she decides to bring it home just to see what's inside.
Okay, so you or I, we'd probably run, right? But when this egg finally cracks open and out pops a baby crocodile, Savan Makaj feels something completely different. It's not fear, it's this instant, powerful wave of affection.
She names him Athen. And here's the part that's so important. She doesn't raise him like a pet. Nope. She raises him as her own son. And as he grew, their bond became just unbreakable. He was completely loyal and obedient, and he saw the woman who found him as his one true mother.
This unique little family lived in peace for a while, but you know how these stories go. Their quiet world was about to get completely turned upside down by the arrival of royalty, and with him, the promise of love. So here we have two worlds about to collide. On one hand, you've got Prince Reach To. He's a man of power and society, and he shows up in the area to study with a wise old hermit. And on the other hand, you have Sovan Mahas, a woman of nature. I mean, they couldn't be from more different walks of life, but that didn't stop them from noticing each other.
And, hidden away from the prying eyes of the royal court, a secret love started to blossom. Their romance was totally genuine, born in the quiet beauty of the forest, far away from all the rules and expectations of the kingdom.
When it was finally time for the prince to head back to his kingdom, he made a solemn vow. He promised Sovan Machas he'd come back, do things the right way with a proper proposal and gifts, and make her his wife. This promise, right here, this is the axis on which this entire story turns.
But while Savan Mechas waited faithfully by the shore, the prince's life back in the kingdom, well, it was taking a very different and pretty devastating turn.
So the prince gets home, but that big promise he made, it gets forgotten, fast. Instead of preparing to marry Savan Makas, his parents arrange for him to marry another royal, a Princess Rumsi Sak, and he just accepts. And pretty soon he sets sail on this magnificent ship loaded with gifts, not for the woman waiting for him, but for his new, politically approved fiancé. Meanwhile, every single day, Sylvan Makas keeps her watch, her eyes glued to the horizon, and when she finally sees the prince's grand ship sailing by, her joy just curdles into horror as she realizes it's not stopping. It's sailing right past her. The promise was broken.
Okay, so this is where all that hope just turns to pure rage. Savan Makash, completely consumed by the pain of this betrayal, decides it's time to unleash her own kind of justice.
Filled with this burning fury, she turns to the one being in the entire world she can trust completely, her son, Athen, and she gives him a single devastating command. Go, destroy the ship of the man who broke his word. And Athen obeys. Without a second of hesitation, he charges that ship like a torpedo. His immense body just slams into the hull, and the huge vessel lurches violently. The crew is panicking, they're throwing food overboard trying to distract him, but it's totally useless. Athen's loyalty is only to his mother's command, and the ship begins to capsize.
But just when you think it's all over for the prince and his entire crew, the story takes this wild, supernatural turn. A completely unexpected power is about to enter the fight. Facing certain death, Prince Richikol is out of options. He does the only thing he can think to do. He prays to the heavens, and in his desperation he cries out the name of the woman he was sailing to marry, Princess Rumsi Sak.
Well, get this. It turns out Princess Rumsi Sak wasn't just any royal. She had a divine gift, her magical hair. And it held this unbelievable power.
the ability to absorb the entire ocean, turning the seabed into dry land in an instant.
And just like that, it worked. Hearing the prince's plea from afar, the princess unleashes her power. The sea simply disappears. One moment you have a chaotic ocean, the next, nothing but dry land as far as the eye can see. So, the ship is saved from sinking, but now it's got a whole new problem. It's stranded in the middle of a brand new desert. And this one final, magical act is what sealed its fate forever.
With all the water gone, the huge ship was just left there, high and dry, tilted on what used to be the ocean floor. And there it remained. Over centuries and centuries, the ship, its mast, all the wedding gifts inside, they slowly petrified, turning into solid rock. As for the prince and his magical bride, well, they were saved, and they went on to marry and rule their kingdom.
And that massive, petrified, tilted ship is what people in Cambodia today call Phnom Samphof. The name literally means boat mountain. The legend gives this dramatic, emotional origin story for a very real and famous landmark. It's amazing.
So in the end, a story of love, loyalty, and a bitter betrayal got etched into the very rock of a mountain. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you see a strangely shaped hill or some unusual rock formation, maybe you'll ask yourself, what forgotten promise or ancient battle is hiding there, right in plain sight?